Good morning, Minneapolis. This is Onsite Public Media's Good Morning Minneapolis. I'm your host, Toussaint Morrison. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. If you want to become a member of Onsite Public Media, go to the immediate link below to help support shows like this and other shows that are going on that are being told by people of color here in the city and all throughout. And also, we have a new poster available from the Lowry Hill East neighborhood. Well, it's not from them. We made it for them, but you can check it out. It's kind of Lisa Bender's, parting gift. You'll dig it. It's in the link below. Check it out. All right, we're going to start off with obvious news. The Hill Murray High School hockey team was booted out of the Minnesota State High School League tournament recently because they thought that the COVID protocols didn't apply to them. But they do. But they do, my friend. But they do. You see, there's a lot of rules that may not apply to you, Hill Murray, and may apply to other people. But this one applies to you too. And it's funny because, it's funny. Y'all really thought it didn't apply to you, but it does. Bye. Today in headlines, Jimmy Fallon. I'm not saying that he appropriates black culture or has a history of it, because to do that, you would have to do weird segments like rapping with Justin Timberlake or rapping with Daniel Radcliffe or, he'd be appropriating. Damn, man, Jimmy got us again. He did get us again. Yep, Jimmy Fallon decided to learn some new dance moves from social media superstar Addison Rae, and it backfired because, they got the dance moves from the same people that they got the rap songs from when they did the thing with Justin Timberlake. You guessed it, black people. Man, Jimmy, he's funny, but, he kind of reminds me of Pat Boone. Do you know what I mean when I say Pat Boone?
She's the gal that I love best, Tutti Frutti, oh, Tutti, Tutti Frutti, oh, Tutti, ooh, Tutti Frutti.
Ah ha ha! Now you know what I mean when I say Pat Boone, because Pat Boone never wrote Tutti Frutti. He got it from, black people. So, yes, Pat Boone got those from black people. Like most of Jimmy Fallon's segments, he got those from black people. Sweet Honey in the Rock, man. Y'all really love the culture, but you won't let the culture host your late night shows. Gosh, I wonder what it would be like to have somebody from the culture host a late night show or a good morning show. Where would they find him? Speaking of things we never thought would happen, vaccines are open to everybody here in Minnesota, 16 plus. Don't you all line up now to get them, or maybe you should. That would actually be great and better for the greater good and everybody else around you. So, CVS, it's not just for Aquaphor and protein bars. You can actually go there to get a vaccine. But as you guessed, America and late-stage capitalism has resorted to, it being more accessible for the wealthy. Axios writes, wealthy people are taking COVID-19 vaccines allotted for others. It goes on to report that wealthy communities in Florida are receiving vaccines that were allotted for the general public. So the rich are getting it first before the people that it was meant for. It's almost like a reverse draft in the upcoming war. You see how that works out? Oh, you guessed it. If somebody's getting vaxxed, that means somebody's getting paid. And if somebody got paid, that means somebody's getting vaxxed. So if you ain't getting paid, you're probably not the first to get vaxxed, is what we're saying. I love how the rich are so quick to condemn and criminalize the same people that they're stealing vaccines from. I bet you they won't bring that up in the Crime Watch group. Stat News reports on Connecticut. The data suggests that in some states, the first wave of vaccines has favored the rich. Quote, there really are two Connecticut's. We as a state need to put more focus on that, end quote, said Tiffany Donaldson, chief executive of the Connecticut Health Foundation. Oh, Tiffany, it's not just Connecticut, but bless your heart. I love that Tiffany actually said this. Can you imagine being an old white Connecticut man that just got vaccinated and reading this? Oh, what do you mean there's two different Connecticut's? Well, at least they vaccinated the right one here, see? Yeah. What do you mean there's two different Connecticut's? All the black people that work here are from Baltimore. What do you mean there's two different Connecticut's? Well, tell Mary to call the senator here, see? Speaking of life or death racial disparity and people not knowing what the hell they're talking about, Eric Nelson might tell you that this is the trial of George Floyd, but really it's the trial of Derek Chauvin. Yep, opening statements started this week, and the prosecution led with this.
As to the manner of Mr. Floyd's death, and I will show you the findings from Dr. Baker. When he lists manner of death for George Floyd, homicide. Now, I want to explain to you that when he uses homicide, it's not the way that we use it here in the courtroom. When the medical examiner says homicide, it simply means that the person died at the hands of another. That's what that means.
You know, it's really nice in the first 90 minutes of a trial to just be able to check off that big old box. Homicide. Man, this is what prosecuting a cop looks like. This is what prosecuting a cop looks like, y'all. Mike Freeman, you seeing this, man? Mike. Hey, Mike. Yo, Mike. Mike asleep. He's taking his weekend nap. And they say justice never sleeps. But don't you worry. Eric Nelson came back real strong, y'all, with this.
And you will learn that Derek Chauvin did exactly what he had been trained to do over the course of his 19-year career.
Yeah, he did exactly what he was trained to do. You got that exactly right, Eric Nelson. He did the thing he was trained to do, just like Mark Ringenberg, Dustin Schwartz, Mohammed Noor, Darcy Klun, Paul Hyun, Jason Schmidt, Tu Tao, Alexander Kyung, Thomas Lane, Ryan Kelly, Justin Schmidt. You know, we don't have a segment long enough to list off all of the killer cops in Minnesota, but you get the point. They all did the thing that they were trained to do because they're trained cops. Eric, you do get that that's worse. Do you realize how that is worse? 19 years. 19 years my client trained as a killer, just as his other co-workers beside him and his boss and his boss's boss. Tell me, Minneapolis, can you hear the National Guard streaming through the streets and the copters flying overhead? Keith Ellison, does George Floyd Square keep you awake at night? Love the tie. I had justice flamboyed with a nice bottle of Chianti. Did you ever want to defend your client so much that you ended up condemning an entire institution? I mean, Eric Nelson may be one of the first white men to do this. In fact, he's pulling off a lot of firsts in this trial, and he definitely pulled off a first for a lot of us in his exchange with Mr. Williams.
Versus.
And now for our main event of the week. From the Police Defense Fund, you know him from his creeper vibes and his hair shaped like a water slide, Eric Nelson. And in the opposing corner, Mr. Williams. He's just a black guy. He was just going about his business on a Monday. He's just a black guy trying to live his life. This week's Big Trial Showdown is brought to you by Minnesota-made Delicate Whites. Yes, that's Delicate Whites. They go great with fine dining engagements, look right at home in an expensive dining room, and made with the whitest and most delicate materials found on Earth. Originated in Duluth and are now available pretty much everywhere you go. Remember, they're not fragile, they're delicate whites. All right, let's get into the showdown here at the Hennepin County Government Center. Derek Chauvin's defense attorney, Eric Nelson, and Donald Williams. Here we go.
And as you continued your wrestling career, you testified that you wrestled all the way through high school and then into college for a couple of years as well.
That's correct.
And you would agree that wrestling is a sport.
Wrestling's a lifestyle.
Ooh, Eric must have got traded because he don't know who he playing with. His ignorance is highlighted and showing on the marquee tonight. And I do love that Black Excellence t-shirt you can low-key see on Donald Williams, shining a little bit through that crisp, nice dressed tee. I see you, Donald, I see you. Back to the action.
So again, sir, it's fair to say that you grew angrier and angrier.
You know, I grew professional and professional. I stayed in my body. You can't pay me out to be angry.
Ooh, Eric can't be telegraphing his punches like that if he's gonna have any success here. He's going full Amy Cooper when he should be playing the cards closer to his chest and not criminalizing the emotions of a black man. He really played himself on this one. He went from putting George Floyd on trial to Mr. Williams on trial, and I'll tell you what, he's not winning either. Back to the action.
After you called him a bum 13 times, you called him a fucking bum.
That's what you heard?
Did you say that?
Is that what you heard?
I'm asking you, sir.
Pretty
Did
sure
you
I
say
did.
that?
You heard that. I'm pretty sure you did.
You call him a fucking pussy-ass bitch.
If that's what you heard, I'm sure that's what
I'm
I did.
asking you, did you say that?
If that's what the video recorded, that's what I did.
You called him a bitch.
If that's the video you heard from the video, that's
It's a
what I
yes or
did.
no, sir.
If that's what was heard on the video, yes, I did.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that Eric hasn't used the F word since '97 or really ever. It sounds about as foreign to him and his vocabulary as morals do right now. You also gotta ask yourself, what side is he on as he keeps asking people to repeat just how they cussed out the cops that day?
And you observed Officer Tao push someone else, right? Or feel like he pushed someone else?
I didn't let him touch anyone else.
Do you recall saying, "I dare you to touch me like that. I swear I'll slap the fuck out of both of you"?
Yeah, I did.
Hot flaming Cheetos. You know who doesn't need a code switch translator? Donald. You know who's gonna slap the fuck out of somebody if they touch them again? Donald. And do you know who's getting verbally slapped the fuck out of? Eric Nelson. I'm gonna tell you right now, Chuck, there's a few takeaways that you can take away from the first week here on the Derek Chauvin trial. One, Mr. Williams is not the one. Number two, Tao was thoroughly, and we here at Onside Public Sports believe righteously, cussed out up and down that day. And lastly, it seems like Eric Nelson, the defense attorney, has never wrestled a day in his life or seen a wrestling match of any kind a day in his life. How does it feel to be in the ring there, fella? All right. And we're not going to let Eric Nelson leave without, a highlight reel of what's gone down this past week. So here's some of Eric's most shiniest, brightest moments. Take it away.
I'm in a boxing match, right? I can't kick you, for example.
No.
But if I'm in an MMA fight, I may punch you, I might kick you, I might choke you, short of biting, right?
No, I proved professional, and I stayed in my body. You can't pay me out to be angry.
You ultimately ended up posting your video to social media, right?
Correct.
And it went viral?
Correct.
And was that a surprise to you?
Definitely.
Changed your life, right?
And this trial is going to change yours too, Eric. It definitely is going to change your life as well. That'll do it for us here at Onside Public Media. Good morning, Minneapolis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. And for everybody that's tuning in, know that we recorded this on Wednesday, the 31st, and there may have been a lot that has transpired between now and Wednesday when we recorded this, and we just want to say that we are with you, and we know a lot of people are going through a lot, and the tension is high for everybody here in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, around the country, and around the world. But we see y'all, we hear y'all, and we're here for y'all. We love y'all. We'll see you in the next one.